I have recorded people just like you playing YBAngry for the very first time, and they seem to have their own ideas about why this game works so well.
I thought it worked really well.
I think it's cool. I think it's, especially if you get some people that can be honest about what it is that they're dealing with.
It is nice to focus on the one detail, though, right, because otherwise our arguments would spiral into all these other things, and by the end of that argument, we don't know why we started, but we know where it ended because we're not good at that.
It helped organize the thought, and then forced us to say, well, is that what you mean? Is that how you feel? And do it in a organized kind of way, so that her points were driven home. It helped. It helped drive her perspective home for me. In the past, when we would talk about it, I would just say, yeah, okay, I'm still going to do it. But now I'm like, well.
First and foremost, it requires you to talk about the problem. That's the first thing.
That's it.
The second thing is it makes you think about what the underlying issue is really about.
Kind of reverse engineering the problem, you know. Give me the supporting details that support this title or this bullet point. And then we just kept walking backwards. And then we put a priority to it. We devoted some dedicated time to this for 20, 30 minutes. And that's more than we've devoted to it.
You have the bigger picture, and then you boil it down to specifics. So you can only speak about the specifics as it relates to the bigger picture. It makes it so that you can't be like, well, last week you did, well, the tit for tat that a lot of couples do, and they start, remembering something that happened 13 years ago that was never brought up and was a non-issue, but now it is an issue because it relates to this and gives them ammo for this other thing. So it makes you really think about the cause and the effect and the reasons behind the actions and the behaviors of why this is affecting each other, and then the emotions that go behind it. Because I think sometimes people take their emotions and weaponize them instead of boiling it down to the logical aspects of what's happening and the feelings that it's hurting, and that you take away the who's right, who's wrong, and it comes back down to communication and understanding.
It's always been an issue, and I think that playing the game gave us more insight as to the relevance of the issue.
The way that this game is set up, the questions, and it makes you think through it, and it makes you realize there's some things that you may not have known or just ignored. It opened your eyes to say, hey, this is an issue, and I need to address it. And it's just the format of how this game is structured to make you open up and take your blinders off, in so many words.
Yes, very good concept. Right. And I think couples can use this game and have a set at the house. So when it's time to discuss an issue, you pull it out, and this is how you discuss it. Right. This should be left at the homes, and we should have several cards. So when it's time to do something else that may be an issue, this should be the way you do it.
You focus on one problem, right? And then you delve a little deeper into the problem, but also it lets both parties hear how the other person feels and come to a conclusion together in a calm manner instead of just in the moment yelling at each other or arguing.
This forces you to hear your partner, your spouse out. Okay. And that was good for me. That's one thing I caught. Good. So
I agree. I like the writing and the verbal aspect of it.
Yeah, that was a good verbal aspect of it.
And doing the one detail at a time, and sometimes the details kind of intertwine with each other.
No, like this game would really be good, especially for people who, really don't have open communication.
People go to a marriage counselor, and they maybe can't say how they really feel. I think this gives them the opportunity to, like you said, communicate effectively, and then give your honest opinion about the subject, and you can tell how relevant it is, and see if we can get down to the issue. It's real good, very thoughtful. I would recommend it to people that I know that are having problems and may just need, to address those problems in a fun way.
Right.
I wish we knew about this like a month ago.
Are you happy you played?
Yes, I am.
I've been waiting on this one, huh?
Yes. You need to leave me some of these cards. And before, it was mostly, he says what he says and I say what I say. And it was written down. So when you see it on paper, it's totally different than just speaking it.
Yeah. I feel like it's broken down so much that it makes it hard to be able, like you don't talk over someone and disagree with them. You're really writing it out and saying like, this is my side of it. And then you can talk through it without interrupting and getting angry.
Yeah, especially just having or not thinking something and saying something immediately to rebuttal another person. It's a lot better to kind of think it through and gather your words and present it that way rather than
being reactive.
Yeah, being reactive.
I like the fact that I get to voice my opinion and you're actually listening to me.
Okay.
So I think that's good. I usually don't say anything, and talking is like a good thing. So that's our new thing now.
Okay.
Because I like the focus on the discussion part. We actually talking to each other face to face, actually discussing the issue at hand. I like that because I like to talk. He ain't to talk. Actually focus on the details.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I liked it this way, honestly.
Yeah, I like it because it's like everybody has a voice. Like usually, like you said, there's always one dominant person. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, I'm not sure, but I think in most cases, sometimes that dominant person doesn't really let the submissive person get their point across. Mm-hmm. But like you said, the game, it levels the playing field, so everybody has a voice. Even that submissive person can say no or yes, I agree with you or whatever. So yeah.
With some people, it's hard for them to think and be able to have a discussion with a person, and it's easier for people to actually write stuff down than it is for them to talk.
I like it. I like how it's broke down. I feel like the steps are very clear if you follow them. And I feel like it actually gets into that conversation and you're digging deep into detail on things. Why do you want this or why is that? So I like it.
I like the fact that you can get your partner to communicate on things that you could never really get them to communicate about. Either they push it off, or they don't want to talk about it right now, or they have talked about it, and then it ends up into a discuss, an argument or a debate.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like even though we had serious discussions, it wasn't like a argument. It was more like a playful moment.
And you don't go off on a tangent. You don't go into something that's not even relevant to what was said originally.
I also think that talking about an issue when it's not an issue, like when it doesn't come up, I think is more helpful because you can actually make progress versus it takes the more of the emotion out of it. Because if one person's heated, you're not going to get anywhere.
Why do you think you're able to settle in just a few minutes?
Well, we talked about it. And
but you talked about it before, right?
No, we argued about it before.
Do you think it helped you?
Yeah, to see things more clearly, what the person really is thinking.
Being forced to sit down and sit still and listen.
Right, so this game forces you to become empathetic. So through empathy, it's not throwing and not listening. This game wants you to tell the person, I hear what you're saying because you're saying this to me because.
The game helped us out, where we got to sit down and write stuff and worked it out.
Maybe it's the writing down part. That might have been it.
I don't know. But writing down, I feel like we listened to each other a little bit more with this game.
And he started here, he's explained it more to me. That's why.
Got more in detail with it.
Okay.
Oh dear, because usually, like she said, man, no, I don't.
And that'll be
I'm gone.
It'd be really good for us because we don't do well at explaining why we feel certain ways.
There was an issue that was to arise on either side that we felt like maybe the one person wasn't like didn't notice or whatever. It could be like, hey, let's just play, and then kind of
Good way to bring up issues too.
bring out the cards and
something about writing and then saying it out loud is, I like that connection that brings too, because you can write it down, and as you say it, I always notice I add certain things. It's like helps me to guide my conversation.
Right.
So it would be good just to learn how to describe our emotions though.
Yeah.
Because you think you're not great at it, but I'm not great at it either. I'll just say I just feel irritated, but I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah.